have exciting things to talk about today.
Top long, square and shoot, bingo.
I think we probably should mention Katie Torlin every time we sit down and talk.
Pass to Torlin, great pass, Katie underneath to the open Whitsett.
Your league is all that you said it was going to be at the top.
The ball away, Wheat intercepts, solo back the other way.
Coach, your team is playing games and playing lots of games.
Knocked loose, Katie gets it back, gun it out to Zoller, good with the 3-ball.
Like every team in our conference.
Way too many good teams in this conference. One of the best leagues in Division II.
It is by far one of the best leagues in Division II.
Dribbling back up floor, 1-on-2 to the goal, got fouled, counter it goes, she got fouled. Into traffic, here's Long leading the break. Down the middle, goes all the way to the goal and score the ball.
Hi everybody, this is Darrell Lonnie with head women's basketball coach Greg Bruce. Today we review a couple of games from last week and look ahead. We're getting into the really exciting part of the season now, coming up onto stretch time. Many teams are peeking ahead towards possible playoffs. Those who are not involved in playoffs are trying to upset other teams. You had two games last week, Coach. A good one and a bad one from a win-loss standpoint. Let's start with the bad one, which was Thursday night up at St. Martin's. Have you comment on that game?
Well, it was a bad one. We weren't never in the game mentally. I didn't think we came in flat. We didn't start off well. We got behind early, and we kind of took that through as the game went on. I thought we did come out of it a little bit in the second half. We competed down the stretch, but by then it was too late, and we didn't play well, and that was disappointing. Because that's a team I thought, record-wise for sure, but just in their personnel versus our personnel, that we could have been more competitive. Disappointing to us, disappointing to the players, but we know we got another chance at them at home, and we'll look forward to that at the end of the season.
Saturday you played Central Washington, much better. Win the game in double figures.
It really wasn't artistic though. It was kind of an ugly win, but as I told Mark Weiss walking out, it was a GNAC win, and we'll take all we can get. So
sure.
Katie Torlin had a great game. She finally broke out from where she'd been struggling a little bit. And Sarah Zoller, now that's 2 games in a row that she's played really well. And it's kind of what I thought we'd get from Sarah at the beginning of the season, and she's shown some glimpses, but to have her get on a roll now toward the end, hopefully she can keep that going as we finish the season.
You gave me a great line back early in the year on one of our post-game shows when we had you on, and she had a great game. This was back in December, and I was reading off the statistics to you, and your line was, yes, she's a real stat stuffer. And then she kind of hit a stretch there where she's not scoring for you for a couple of weeks and this and that. Things came back for her Thursday night, didn't they, in that St. Martin's game?
They did. She's always been known as a three-point shooter, and she's always done that pretty well. Even this year, her three-point shooting has been solid. But we've continually worked with her on pull-up jumpers because everybody's flying at her to shoot the three, trying to take that away from her. Now, she's finally, all this work she's putting in where she can shot fake, take one dribble right, one dribble left, and pull up and take that little 12-foot jumper is starting to come through, and she's getting to the free throw line, which she hardly ever did in the past. But you're right, she had 9 rebounds on Saturday. She had some assists, she had some steals. When she's playing well, she puts numbers in all those categories, and it can really help take the load off Katie, but also pick up from some of our younger kids who still are a little bit on the up and down in terms of consistency.
It was interesting that you look at the stat sheet after the game, and the first figure you see is field goals, attempts, and made. And I'm looking at Lori Clifford, okay, and I made this point at the time with Robin Andrews working with me on the broadcast on the telecast, and you go 2 for 9. Well, not a very good game. But you sit there and watch the entire game, and you realize that she does a lot of things for your team, doesn't she?
Yeah, I thought she played a really good game. 2 for 9 is obviously not really good, and we're working on that. She's working on that. But from a coach's perspective, she did exactly what we want her to do. She's more comfortable now putting pressure on the ball continuously throughout the game. She's well conditioned. She's doing a better job of getting us into offensive stuff and making passes and reading what the situation is, and understand when to go and when not to go. She can get herself to the basket, I think, about any time she wants, but she's hesitant. I don't know if she feels like she's going to overstep somebody else's bounds or whatever, but she's getting more comfortable doing that. And I was satisfied with her game. I think for a freshman, we have some talented point guards in this league.
Yes.
And all these teams, and all of them are upperclassmen.
Mm.
So I think she's putting herself in pretty good position there.
I'll tell you, folks, this is great experience too, because some of these other people are going to graduate eventually. Then she's going to be
Exactly.
the veteran in this
Exactly.
conference. All right, let's look ahead. Montana State Billings, you haven't played them yet. Kind of a scheduling quirk. I guess that's the
Yeah.
kind way we put it. But here they come on Thursday.
Yeah, and they play some man and zone combo, miss and makes, different defenses. They have a pretty good center, and the Ryan kid inside does a pretty good job. And they really shoot the three well. They have a number of kids that can knock it down from out there. Kyle, our assistant coach, my son, has said, Dad, you got to take away the three in this game. You take away the three, you'll be okay. So we're going to go to work on that today, plus being able to change our offense versus what they do on defense.
Saturday, up on the road to Seattle Pacific. Very good, solid team, aren't they, Greg?
Just another road breather, yeah. Seattle Pacific's very good, well coached, play great defense. They got Daisha Henderson, who you know about, and just an outstanding player. And that's a game that it'll be nice. I mean, she's gonna guard Lori for 35 minutes or however much of Lori's in the game. And I think that's just I think it's gonna show us, hopefully, where Lori's come from the beginning of the season until now, where she's gonna be able to handle that better. But go up there, we have nothing to lose.
Right.
Nobody expects us to beat them, but we just have to pin our ears back and play hard and see what happens.
How about the playoff race? Comment on the league, the playoff race. How many teams you hope to get? How many teams in your mind are in the race for the playoff?
Well, as of right now, regional rankings, we have 4 of the top 5 positions. UC San Diego's number 1, and it comes 4 GNAC teams: Western, Washington, Seattle Pacific, Anchorage, and Northwest Nazarene. I think all 4 of those teams will get in. I personally think, and I know head-to-head, Western Washington went down to UC San Diego and lost earlier in the year. I think it was 89-82.
Mm-hmm.
But that was in San Diego. And if they hang on to the number 1 spot, then that's where the regional will be, in San Diego. But I honestly think, and I've been in this Division II stuff a long time, back at Portland State in northern Colorado.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of teams. I really think Western Washington could win the whole thing.
Wow.
I mean, they're that talented. Those 3 kids they have, Willow, Cabe, Dunbar, and Summers.
Yes.
There are 3 players on one team at the Division II level that I haven't seen in a long time. So I think they got a shot at winning it all. The whole ball of wax.
Boy, they are really good. They're very good. And unfortunately, or I guess fortunately in this case, you've played them twice. You don't have to blame again.
Thank goodness they're off our schedule now. Exactly, Darryl.
Okay. Coming up Thursday night, Montana State Billings at home. That's a 7 p.m. start time. And then up on the road to the Queen City, Seattle Pacific on Saturday. Head coach Greg Bruce, this is Darryl Lonnie.